Hey friends, welcome back. This is Beth with crochetrx. I am one of the creators behind crochetrx. I also run this business with my daughters. And today I just want to go over some of the market prep stuff that I've been doing, what's going on, and a little bit of updates. I did just record 20 minutes of video and there was no sound. Apparently my microphone had died and I didn't realize that it didn't reconnect. So here we are. Blue lights are on, so hopefully this should work. My face is a little glossier than usual today. Started off my morning reading an update from a friend. It's somebody that my daughter used to dance with, and just a couple years older, and the father was diagnosed with colon cancer 2.5 years ago, and it was looking better for a while and then not. Currently the goal is that he makes it the next 2.5 weeks to watch her graduate high school. So usually I blame my glossy face on the sappy videos that I see on Facebook or Instagram with animals or, military coming home. And today's is 100% not that case. So I apologize if my voice is a little crackly, or I'm not as upbeat as I might usually be. But with having dance competitions the last couple weeks and end of the month rush for my work, I'm a nurse diabetes educator, and I have to have all my charts finished and submitted, everything, wrapped up pretty with a bow for end of the month billing. It's been a little bit crazy recently. So, I really have just been working on a whole bunch of kind of works in progress. They've been multi-stage points here along the way. During Charlotte's dance competition the 2 weeks ago, I made a whole bunch of chicken bodies. And so recently, recently at Ollie's, because they got all that Bernat blanket from Joann's, I found a gray. I had not previously seen a gray. So this is the black that I would typically use. So here's the gray, chicken butt. And I really like the gray. These speckled yarns really work well for my chickens and my cats. So I've got a whole bunch of, got 7 chickens. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So lots of chickens. I made all the bodies, and then a couple days ago I got all the eyes and the beaks, chicken flying, beaks put on, and then last night I had done the burgundy and got those sewn in. So those should be good to go here. Then I've also, with the ombre yarns that I got, the blanket ombre, I had made a jumbo turtle. So the chickens are I've not lost it. Oakland Marlowe pattern, I believe. I can't think of the name of the chicken. But so the turtle is the jumbo pattern by Crochet by Jenna. We've got custom eyes that the kids and I painted and made. And so I really like this one with the different colors of pinks. And so then with the ombre, I also made kitties this past weekend. So one started at the light end and I worked, through the end of the feet. And then I started the other end and again worked through the end of the feet while sitting at the dance competition. And then I came home, did the eyes, and finished them off. So again, both of these guys have I'm gonna do one at a time so it'll focus. Have some custom eyes there with some pretty fun glitter. And so this guy here, and these guys are much larger than my typical loaf cat, especially this light pink one. He's massive. So they're much bigger, much chunkier, much well fed. And so then I also did the gray speckle for the loaf cat as well, with just some basic eyes. And then again with the ombre, another big turtle. So I didn't realize until the first filming of this that my one blanket yarn says perfect phasing and the other blanket yarn does not. And that makes a whole lot more sense because the pink is a much more gradual gradient of the color change, whereas this blue is just really abrupt. I do not like how this changed, but it is what it is. I do like the colors of the blue, but the way it's got this ring at the head, I do not like that Sam I Am. So he is what it is. I'm sure somebody will love him, and it'll be all good. But so that's the Crochet by Jenna, the jumbo pattern. And then I've got one more that I started working on last night while sitting at dance. This is a different Bernat blanket. They call this one Mystical. It's a mystical line. So this is Teal Stream is what they call this colorway. I had a leftover 40% coupon from Michael's and then a $5 rewards thing that I needed to use. So I wasn't able to make it into the store because of our dance commitments. So I'm not usually one to purchase the Bernat blanket online because it's just been so questionable. Some of the stuff I have on my shelf is just so hard and tough to work with that I do like to feel it first. But this ended up being a good buy here. So it's very soft, and I think it'll make a great turtle. I've got a couple of legs already done here. It's just a very subtle blue and green. It's a much more complimentary than some of my other ones that have the multiple color changes back and forth. This is just a very light transition, and I do like this. So that'll be good. So I've got that I can still finish, and then bring to market. So our market this weekend is in the northwest area of Raleigh. It's the Durham. And so hopefully that is good. I have not done a market in this area. It's about an hour and a half from me. So it's probably the furthest, or, just as far as I've traveled for any of my markets here in North Carolina. I think it's the furthest. Usually I'm 60 to 70 minutes. This is truly a solid hour and a half. So hopefully it goes well. It is just an afternoon. It's from 2 to 6. And yeah, so optimistic about that. Hopefully it goes well. I do have some reservations given our political climate. But I do know that people are still spending money. We still have Easter coming up. We still have birthdays. We still have all the things worth celebrating. And hopefully I can be a part of that for some people. The last thing I've got going on is I had a custom order for a Della the Duck earlier, I think in February. And that individual had purchased the colors of yarn because she was very specific in what she wanted. So she went to Michael's and purchased the yarn. And so I still had, and certainly that was then discounted off of her price for the finished plushie. But I still had that left. So I had made another Della the Duck body. This, I don't know if I picked up a larger hook than what I had before, or if I was more distracted making this. It just seems a whole lot bigger for the body than the first one I made. I got one arm. I think this is all I've got. The rest of it's in a bag up there. with the yarn. So I need to just get it done. My plushie, or not plushies, my snugglers have not been selling at events. So it just hasn't been a priority because my turtles and chickens and everything else sell so much better. But I just need to get it out, finished and out, because what's not there they can't buy regardless. So hopefully I can get this done. I'd like to work on some different eye embroidery details as well, as I try and improve the basic eye embroidery. So I will work on some of that then as well. Otherwise, I think that's about it. I have markets this weekend and next weekend. Let me double check my phone here. I'm looking at June. So this weekend is in Durham at the Dirty Bull Brewing Company. So I will have an outside tent. The indoor ones, the table spaces were only 8 foot, and you've only got like an 8x6 space. And so having the 10x10, I have much more control over my setup and so forth like that. I've purchased more of the weights that go on the feet. They've got a little notch in, and so then they just slide onto the legs. So I've purchased more of those and retiring some of the other things that I had used for weights, because at the one Windy show, the legs of the tent had actually walked them, because it had continuously been blowing for so long. They had walked themselves out from under the plates that I put on the weights, that I put on the feet and then the weights on top of. So this way I can interlock and have one in one way and one on another, and the leg can't walk itself out. So I have invested in the different types of weights to help with that, because it certainly has been a very windy spring. Just Tuesday night, Monday night, we had some straight line winds that knocked down trees as we were driving to dance. It was crazy. So then next weekend, I have a 3-season market in Raleigh, which is in a shopping area with a Target and some other stuff there. And so looking forward to that. That one, I did sign up for 3 events throughout the year. And depending on how next weekend goes, I will probably sign up to do that on May 3rd, which, if you remember, is the date that I was not returning to the nursery. So we will see. I had been talking to somebody else in Jacksonville about a pop-up event there, but they quit responding. So there's only so many times I'm going to message you and bump the conversation to try and get it back up. So she's quit responding. I'm done chasing. So I still do not have a market on the 3rd. And while I hate paying $45 twice, because now this makes it like $90 Saturday, which is, my cap is about $75 is what I quit paying for markets. And so it would be a more expensive Saturday, but definitely could use the extra boost, and I've got the inventory to support it. So that's this month. I may also do another Palmstreet live on Sunday, just because I keep trying to build my following there, and by doing the extra lives and extra events, it just keeps drawing more people in. So hopefully I can get some momentum on there as well. Otherwise, I think that's about it here as we head towards Easter and start wrapping up the end of our season. So with the 2 events this month, the 2 craft shows this month, I only have one definite one for May, and then we will see what happens on the 3rd. That following weekend, we have my teen has a prom, so I didn't want to miss part of that that prep time. And then we will be traveling back to Illinois for my grandfather's 97th birthday. So we will spend some time with family, and definitely always look forward to seeing our friends and family in Illinois. And so that'll be a great time. Otherwise, I feel my eyes getting a little glossy and misty here again. So thanks for sticking with me. I definitely appreciate the community that I have here, and our comments and conversations in the comments. Certainly like and subscribe if you haven't. 90% of the people watching still have not subscribed, and I definitely appreciate that. It's free. It helps push my content out to more people, and then hopefully I'll get some video and things for this weekend, and I'll do a recap for how the market went, and hopefully I'm not quite so emotional the next time. So thanks for sticking with me, and you guys take care.